by calling in or sharing your thoughts on our Facebook page. Now, to reach out to us via call, please by all means call us on the number 0808 704 1217. 0808 704 1217. That's our call line. And then we're on Facebook at Bright FM Abuja. That's Facebook and YouTube. So you can also drop your comments there and we will see it. So settling, let's get into today's headlines together. All right, as usual, we're going to just run through all of the headlines that we have for this morning, and then we'll start taking it one at a time. Let's begin with this headline on Tribune Newspaper this morning, and the headline says, why labor unions must strengthen ties with government. This one is coming from Tinubu on this one. Why labor unions must strengthen ties with government. Now, moving forward on that one, we're seeing still on Tribune, FG lists poor teaching, supervision bans of quality education delivery. FG lists poor teaching, supervision bans of quality education delivery, and that's on Tribune. Now, on Vanguard newspaper, CNG, Nigeria's conversion centers rise to 158. On that one, CNG, Nigeria's conversion centers rise to 158, and that's at Vanguard. Now, still on Vanguard, Dangote, Port Harcourt, others drive competition in West Africa. This one is on Vanguard. Dangote, Port Harcourt, and others drive competition in West Africa. That's in Vanguard. Now, moving forward to the Nation newspaper, how ex-Kwara governor, commissioner misappropriated 5 billion naira UBEC funds. This one is by Witness, and the story is on the Nation newspaper. How ex-Kwara governor, commissioner misappropriated 5 billion naira UBEC fund. This one is by Witness. Now, moving forward to leadership, bandits plant explosive along Zamfara Road, kill 12. Bandits plant explosive along Zamfara Road, killed 12, and this one is on Leadership newspaper this morning. Moving forward to Daily Post, Tinubu, Nigeria's Messiah, will be praised by everyone. Reps member Abejide on this one, Tinubu, Nigeria's Messiah, will be praised by everyone. Reps member Abejide on this one, and this is on Daily Post. Moving forward to Punch, low-income earners can withdraw total retirement savings. This is coming from Pencom. Low-income earners can withdraw total retirement savings. This is coming from Pencom, and this one is on Punch newspaper this morning. On the Nation newspaper, rich people not paying adequate tax in Nigeria, says Jimo Ibrahim. Rich people not paying adequate tax in Nigeria, says Jimo Ibrahim, and that's on the Nation newspaper. Still on the Nation newspaper, how to tackle sexual harassment in schools by lecturer. Now, this one is on the Nation newspaper, how to tackle sexual harassment in schools by lecturer. And that's all of it for the headlines that we have today. And as usual, we're going to take it one at a time. You can also reach out to us and throw in your contribution by calling us on the number 0808 704 1217. 0808 704 1217. Stay with us. We'll be right back to begin the conversation. You guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please. All right, can we go back? All right. All right, good morning one more time. I'm not in the studio alone. Charles is here with me. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning, Trey.
How was your night? How is your Thursday going?
Oh, it's going all right. Nights don't exist anymore.
Thank you so much. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Kebi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's begin the conversation with this story on, Tribune. Now, why labor unions must strengthen ties with government. Tinubu on this one. Our President Bola Tinubu has urged labor unions to strengthen their ties with the government to benefit Nigerians. Represented by Senator Henkin, Minister of State for Petroleum at the commissioning of the Nupeng Tower in Lagos, Tinubu emphasized the importance of collaboration between labor unions and the government. He noted that the success of the oil and gas sector depends on the success of Nupeng and Pengassan. Now, Tinubu appealed to labor union leaders to engage in dialogue rather than industrial actions, assuring them that the government is open to considering their ideas. He emphasized that the work first determines an organization's success and encouraged deepening collaboration and sustaining dialogue. The president called for strengthened ties between labor unions and the government that it aims to promote growth and development in the oil and gas sector for the benefit of all Nigerians. Melekari Group CEO of NNPCL also spoke at the event, confirming that the Port Harcourt refinery is operational and producing products. He assured Nigerians that the company is working tirelessly to bring back the refineries and appealed to the public not to demarket the refinery, emphasizing that it belongs to everyone. Good morning, one more time, Charles and Kirby. Now, this is the conversation that we're starting with this morning. I mean, Labour has been on the news since the last week of November, especially because they've been saying that if governors do not implement the new minimum wage, their people will go on strike. In fact, in some states,
The striking action.
yes, there's already strike action happening. Now, President has come out to say that the labor union must strengthen their ties with government so that it can benefit Nigerians. And part of the things that he was also saying is to collaborate with the government, and instead of engaging in strike actions, they should rather engage in dialogue. Let's look at what the president has said to the labor union, and let us even know how feasible that is. Looking at so far so good, how we see that dialogues with the federal government, how it goes, and for every time that we see that a union has dialogue with the government, because the first thing that we hear is there was a sit down, the government strike. But now, the president is encouraging the labor, or appealing to the labor union leaders to engage in dialogue rather than industrial actions. Do you think that this one would produce results? I don't know.
There's a bit of sarcasm in that speech. There's a bit of sarcasm in there, because if I'm pretty sure the labor union leaders are looking at the president and like, so what do you think we do before we engage in the strike? There's always, like you said, there's always a sit down. We hear that they met with some government officials before the strike.
Especially when it has to do with maybe ASU.
Exactly.
Now, so we would always hear that before this before the strike there was a meeting.
So in this conversation, I really think that the direction that the president is talking to shouldn't be towards the labor workers. It should be to the government officials. Come to a compromise. Y'all should come to a compromise that makes more sense for the labor workers, because I'm very sure that they filed the documents first. There's always the presentation of paper of what their requests are, and before they even have like a sit down conversation trying to deliberate on this. So the government should have more compromise for the request of the labor union before we even before they start going on the strike, because there's no smoke without fire. They always have conversations with the government before. I mean, look at the one from Akwa Ibom State. They had given him time. They even gave him time to say, okay, we know that you're mourning right now, but while you're mourning, I know you're also doing your work, so do this work.
Listen, I don't think that the labor union enjoys going on strike.
Nobody enjoys that.
Nobody enjoys going on strike. The reason why people decide, or a union or an association, whatever, decides to go on strike is that they've tried.
And nobody was listening.
That's like we used to say something, that's the only language that the government understands, right? Because tell me, why would you just outrightly go on strike shut down activities if you have not tried other options.
Exactly.
So it makes that, can we have a situation where the conversations, the dialogue yields results?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that the government is saying that the labor union should work with the government to achieve better results. Like I mentioned, the labor union is always funny to me because this feels like gaslighting here. You're telling them to work better with the. Are you trying to tell them to like step down on the ideas or ideals that they hold or requests that they hold before they could work with the government? They're asking for very logical requests here. Pay staff, reduce certain uh, expenses. These are things that are very, very normal to ask for. And it's very, very normal for the labor union to ask for this amenities. So if you're saying that they should work with the federal government, they are trying to work with the federal government. So it's the federal government that is proving difficult here. All the ASU strikes that we've ever seen that have gone for, all the striking actions that we've ever seen that has happened, is the fact that the government did not budge to the request of the labor union.
Kevin, which day were we talking about? Should be polytechnics. Exactly.
And they came out said they have discussions with the federal government.
Do you understand? And this one, it's not like they're even asking for money or a raise or something. It's follow our constitution that you went against. Do you understand? So you won't tell me that they've not like had a sit down, they've not had a dialogue.
Say that they haven't even written to relevant people about this.
So that's just basically. But again, the president has assured labor union leaders that the government is open to considering their ideas.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's still a very, very open conversation. It's more like, okay, come, let us sit down and talk. And if you don't agree to if we don't agree to what your requests are, then there's no headway. And this is exactly what we've seen happen over time. The labor union would make a request, and it would take. How are you telling me that you make a request? Let's look at the time when the conversation of the increment of how many months did it take for that dialogue to happen? How long did it take to tell you, the government, that this is what the people are going through? The fact that you remove subsidy is making life more difficult for people. So increase minimum wage so that life will be better for them. It took a long time to deliberate this conversation.
And Kevin, part of the agreements that they came to, we've seen that the government went against it. We're looking at the fact that part of the reasons why they accepted 70,000 naira, was because they said, okay, you know what, let's not increase food price again. How many times exactly? How many times has it been increased?
And that they were going to make the price 2.5 because other countries are doing it. If they're going to pay for 250. But when they said 70, the initial plan was they're not going to increase the price fell again. And now, after everything, that's where they had that agreement. And at the end of the day, the price of fuel is still increasing, and we're still on the 70.
And how many times is after the agreement of supposed implementation, because it hasn't actually swung into full swing yet. It hasn't actually been fully implemented, especially in the state levels. How many times have we seen fuel price go up since after the declaration of the increase of minimum wage?
And Charles, NLC even came out for that stuff, saying that, okay, there was an agreement between you and I that you're not going to increase fuel price again.
And they denied
if
that
we accept the 70. And they also had a dialogue for that. So why would they come off a strike if you don't answer the dialogue?
We say something, you do something else. We agree on something, you do something else. The only, like you mentioned, the only language that they understand is strike. That's the only language that they understand. And unfortunately, it's harming both the economy, it's harming the people that are striking, it's harming the government as well. So if the government should think of doing anything right, it's not saying come and have dialogue or work with us.
Yeah.
They are trying to work with you. That's where the dialogue comes in first before the striking action.
So just like I said, nobody, no association, no union, enjoys going on strike, right? In fact, they want to work hand in hand, with the government for the betterment of their people, the citizens of Nigeria, especially in fact, how many times have people called on this platform to say, oh, we don't trust labor, we don't see how they are fighting for us, they are not holding their grounds and all. If dialogues are successful, some of these things that people are complaining about, we won't be hearing it. Because first things first, there has to be a dialogue before anybody moves forward to having a strike action, and it happens. But now the president has come out to say, okay, you know what, we're open to considering ideas. And it was yesterday we also read about how that, it wasn't yesterday or 2 days ago, NLC having a meeting or something to learn how to deliberate more, how to negotiate more, how to engage the government more, and how to move forward with serving their better in the next year and all of that. So we're just hoping that with what the president has said, there's going to be room for more dialogue and more consideration of their ideas than strike actions. Let's
There's
just
a
wait.
way. There's a way this particular conversation is very, very reflective of if the down to the home level of our society, especially in Nigeria. You tell your parents that I don't like what you're doing. I don't like the way you treated me. They beat you for it, and when you decide to now act out, they take
Do half of it and leave the rest. And that's why they keep having that sit down or consider because whatever thing they're bringing to the table is not been answered
perhaps
fully.
there's money dropping in every sit down. Maybe that's why the sit downs are taking longer.
We don't know
We
that.
don't know. That's what I'm saying. Because if we really wanted to get
Yeah.
jobs done, we wouldn't have lots of sit downs. We would sit down once, deliberate things, and move on.
So now another thing that another conversation that came up during this meeting was the group CEO of NNPCL coming out to confirm that the Port Harcourt refinery is operational and is producing products. So let us be expectant for price drop. You know that the last time that we were complaining,
Don't point
Kebby,
me, point out.
I'm pointing you, Kebby. The last time that we were complaining that NNPC's product is selling higher than Dangote, and marketers were saying if NNPC does not reduce their price, below Dangote's price, they're not going to even, buy from NNPCL. And part of the reasons that NNPCL gave is that they are still buying from Dangote and selling, right? So now the group CEO has come out to say that NNPCL has started producing products. So that's also something to look forward to in the coming days ahead to see if it's going to reflect on the prices.
I hope that as they're producing, the prices will actually reduce because even when Dangote one came out that he's producing and all, the prices didn't reduce. It was later it started removing 15 naira and 20 naira. So I hope since it's a government-owned refinery that they actually reduce. So that will help. The major thing while we're talking about them making more refineries to reduce the price and help Nigerians because that's the only major thing that's affecting us.
Yeah.
Because we put more of our efforts, we depend on the oil sector. So if they can actually make way that as they are producing, they can reduce the price to help Nigerians, it will go back to the way
Because that's what we've been clamoring for, basically. Now let's move forward to the next story right here on Tribune. FG lists poor teaching supervision means of quality education delivery. Now, the federal government of Nigeria has identified key challenges hindering the delivery of quality basic education in the country. Now, according to Minister of State for Education, Dr. Ahmed, the recruitment of unqualified teachers and ineffective supervision are major obstacles to overcome. Additionally, the minister highlighted the issues of learning poverty, where primary school children are performing below their capacity, and the large number of school-age children who are not in school. To address these challenges, the government is committed to improving factors that impact quality education delivery, such as teacher quality, school environment, and efficient school governance. The minister commended the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, for organizing a training program for education secretaries from local governments aimed at enhancing effective management of schools. The program, which took place in all 6 geopolitical zones, equipped secretaries with relevant skills and competencies in handling and administration of school. Now, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting local and state governments in achieving the goal of universal basic education. The minister emphasized that education ranks high on the priority list of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as outlined in the Renewed Hope agenda. With the recent autonomy granted to local governments, there is hope for more efficient management of primary education, including the possible direct disbursement of federal intervention funds to states through local government education authorities. Now we're sitting on education matters. We've talked about this time and time again that in Nigeria, any parent who even wants quality education for their children now goes to private schools. That we'll look at how the state of things in our education system keeps deteriorating. So I feel okay that even the Minister of State for Education has come to say, okay, you know what, we understand that there is deterioration in quality basic education. These are the things that are affecting it, and he has come out to try to touch some of the things that they can do better. Let's start with the issue of unqualified teachers, Charles. Now we look at the fact that every other time, in fact, for private schools, I don't know if you visited some of these schools and you see that maybe it's a secondary school person who is maybe waiting after WAEC, that is a teacher, maybe teaching maybe JSS classes, and you're asking yourself, what does this person have to offer these children? But again, you look at the salary and you see how that schools cannot even afford qualified teachers in its sense.
I think if
I'm with you.
I think you've answered the question basically in accordance or even in any way close to what a qualified teacher should be earning. In this country, we tend to glorify suffering. For some reason, we make you feel like anything where they pay you now collect because you have a master's degree or a bachelor in education. There's a level of pride that should come with that as someone who
and the
is
level
educated.
of pay.
Exactly. There's also a level of pay that should come with that much education. You invested in your education, and you should be paid well for that. And the fact that you're not even getting as anywhere close to what you're meant to earn is a very, very demoralizing.
Exactly.
So the fact that we have seen very unqualified people, someone that just left secondary school, coming to teach it.
And this instance that I even gave, Charles, is in private schools. How much more government schools?
Exactly. Now we're looking at it even from the private school side, because the fact that their passion is what is driving them to pursue this career, which at that level they should not be teaching people. But it's very much appreciated, but they shouldn't be.
There was a time that the Kaduna State governor, ex-governor, Malam Nasser El-Rufai trended, and it was a time when he sacked a lot of teachers. In fact, it became a debate. A lot of people had something to say about it. And part of the things that the government said was that these people are unqualified. There was a test that was given, and they failed the test. Good morning, Mr. Sele.
Good morning, Victor. Because I was coming to ask whether it's only private schools that will have unqualified teachers, as you say. And let me correct the impression. Having the certificates does not qualify you to be a teacher. Yes, I agree. People will disagree with me. But there
No,
are a
me,
lot
I
of
don't
people
disagree.
with certificates who are not
Yes,
supposed to be in
now.
classrooms.
Yes, now.
I've seen people who claim to have gone through trainings as a teacher, and when they open their mouth to speak English,
You're wondering what
you're wondering
happened here.
what are you impacting to my child? Let me use my personal experience for instance. When we moved to Abuja newly, I'm just a year plus in Abuja. When we moved in, my daughter was going to primary one. And I was looking for a private school within my own reach. So the private schools around the place, because the nearest government school was too far for a child of that age. So the first private school that came appealing to me, I went in there. The person that claimed to be the headmaster, let me use that word, just the first statement she made threw me off. I'm not an English student. I'm not even good in English, but I was able to know that this is not, this one cannot teach my
Now,
child.
if that is the headmaster,
That is the
how do
headmaster.
you
So what do you expect among other teachers?
see what we're talking about? So, and this is on a private school
Private
level.
school.
We're
Then go
not
to
even.
government schools. You see teachers and you, oh God.
In fact, one of the major things that like really annoy me with some of the teachers in the government school is how they don't pay attention to these children.
My dear,
How they just stay in their offices to gist away the hours.
In fact, this one is this morning. This morning, I won't mention, so I won't implicate anybody. But it's a government school in Abuja. My son is in SS1. So he was talking with the mom. We are writing our last exam to this. I was like, which subject? He said he mentioned the subject. I said, how do you rate your teacher? 1/10. He said, Daddy, I've never even seen him. I've only copied notes.
Just imagine.
And he's about to write exam.
Just imagine.
In our public school.
Just imagine. So what are we
So what
saying?
are you saying?
What are we
There's a
saying?
level to which we blame the government, and then and there's
yes,
another
now.
part where we
That's why we
Yes.
started with unqualified teachers. We're going to look at the recruitment because who recruits
Who
them?
recruited them? And
What's
then,
the process that brought them on board?
And just like what I say, is not, yes, some of them were recruited, they have the papers, but they don't have the enthusiasm. They were not called. Teaching is not just a profession, it's a calling.
It's a ministry.
It's a ministry of its own, thank you. So there are people who are there just for the money. They don't have any business in the four walls of a school. They should be in the market doing one business or the other.
Let's roll out the number again, 0808-704-1217. That's our call line in case you want to call in and be part of the conversation. Our WhatsApp is down, so just call us, 0808-704-1217, 0808-704-1217. That's our call line in case you want to be part of the conversation. You can also maybe text us on Facebook in the comment section at Bright FM Abuja. That's Facebook and YouTube. We are streaming live now. Back to the studio. Let's come back to, because sometimes when we want to remove the blame from the government, I understand, but again, there has to be systems and structures. So I think that we've gotten to the point in Nigeria where we understand that people buy certificates. Oh yes, people do. So it makes that, considering some things, certificates should not just be, let's take this one. Oh, so sorry about that. Please do well to call back. Certificates should not just be the criteria for, let me tell you something. When I finished my, was that university? No, it was SS classes too. When I finished taking WAEC and all of that, you know how it is that you're staying back at home and you don't want to just stay back at home doing nothing. Yes, and we're waiting to just go into university. I remember going to teach in a private school, and trying to apply. I was supposed to teach the nursery classes. Oh, the kind of interview those people put me through. I say, is it not nursery 1? I've been nursery 2. Right. Hello, good morning. please do well to call back 0808-704-1217. Just keep trying. At some point, it will come on. Thank you so much. 0808-704-1217. Right. So the kind of interview that they put me through, and Mr. Senator, know that at intervals, it was a lot. It was a lot.
In fact, the school I taught.
And me, I was assistant too.
The school I taught back then, you will submit your lesson note. They call it lesson note. You submit your lesson note
for
on Friday.
review.
For next week's, so you must submit it this Friday. They will review it over the weekend. You come on Monday and pick it before you go to teach. But today, you see, I said somebody who is writing exam today have never met one with it.
Imagine.
So what are you asking the child? What question are you asking the child?
So who explained who gave them notes and who explained the notes?
It's a normal thing. Go and collect. Maybe the person, for instance, we have 5 classes in SS1. The person will just make out and teach SS1A, and then maybe teach this topic on SS1A. Everybody can collect. Teach the next topic in SS1B. Everybody can. So the person will just go in at intervals to different classes, and
or they give the class monitor.
Thank you. Or the class monitor will go and collect notes and copy for the children.
Remember how I mentioned that a lot of things that's going on in this country is the psychological deterrent to what we go through in homes. Your parents are not raising you; it's your firstborn son, your firstborn child that is raising the kids. The teachers
they raised the first child.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, let me support that, because you see a lot of homes. Yes, I used to have that argument with my wife sometimes. You do this, you do this. I'll be like, madam, there are things that should be your office. Everybody have an office in the house. The kitchen is your office. What you need in the kitchen is assistants, not chefs. So you should be the one deciding what happens in your own office. You can assign duties, but not sit down and cross your leg and be dedicating all the duties. No. And we see it a lot in the school, just like Charles said. First, the moment a child grows, we delegate every duty to the child and we cross our legs. It goes to the school. The teacher comes to school. That is how we used to send house help to do this. Class monitor, come, go and copy notes. Cross your leg. I had that issue in my just to confrontation with my teacher. Thank God for the kind of principal we had then. Her salary was withheld. That was even when I knew I was the cause. The woman hated me till I left the school. Because I would go, I was the class monitor, I would go and tell her, madam, we have class. She would tell me, go and copy notes. Me, I will copy notes today. Next week, go and copy notes. I will go and tell principal. I was supposed to have this. No, that is it, because principal gave us a booklet to be writing for teachers we sign when they come. So she will ask me to bring the booklet to her office. I'll take it, she will sign. But I'll tell her, madam, you didn't come. When it became more than what I can do, each time she comes, I go to principal's office. I was supposed to have this subject.
You know that your set, you even wanted to learn now. This set, they want to just be gisting in class. So they even see whenever a teacher does not come to class, they see it as free period. Do you understand? It's a lot.
Seriously, I wonder how we got here.
Now, part of the things that the Minister of Education has also said, in regards to addressing these challenges, he has said that they want to look at, the quality of teachers moving forward, school environment. We've talked about how that there are some public schools that when you go there, you cry for those children. Some of them, sit under the trees to learn. Some of them sit on the floors. In fact, I remember one time in Kaduna, when I was still in Kaduna, it was a friend of mine when she was serving in one of the government schools. When she went there and she saw the state of things, she said it was going to be her duty to get chairs for these children. And it became a project for her. And she made sure that, she got chairs and all of that. So when she came and saw that the children are sitting on stones, when it's time to learn, they will go and find stones, or they will hang on the windows or sit down on the floors. It was a problem for her. And at the back of my mind, I'm asking, how can a child sitting on a stone
what do you expect
is a lot? Hello, good morning. I don't know what's going on with the calls this morning. No, just keep trying. 0808-704-1217. 0808-704-1217. It keeps beeping, and when you take it, it just goes off. I don't know what's going on. Just keep trying. Let's see what we can make out of that, so so that's basically what we're looking at. And another thing that the minister also mentioned is that part of education ranks high on the priority list of President Bola Tinubu, with the renewed hope agenda. So that's part of the things that are that is on the list that ranks high. So we're also hopeful that since we've been saying that, there are a lot of policies that the president is putting in place that would, in the nearest months to come, we'll start seeing the fruits. We'll start, experiencing it hands-on. So let education, quality education, also be, part of the things that would say, oh, we'll commend the president for, and we're not just looking at basic education, but exactly tertiary institutions. We want a Nigeria that our government schools can give us quality education.
Exactly.
That's what we want. Both basic education, tertiary, on all levels. Let's take this one. Hey, good morning. Thank God. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, Olukole. Please go ahead. Because they are not indigenous.
That is the ethnicity playing out. Yes. Exactly.
That's exactly what your son is saying. Yes. Maybe he doesn't even know the teacher.
He knows the teacher, but he says the teacher has never been in the class.
Imagine.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Why you miss the class? Exactly. Exactly.
It's funny.
Mm. Mm. Exactly. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much for your contribution. I appreciate that. And you know how it is that this kind of things, a teacher doesn't come to class and the day that they come, they give you tests. They say, tear out a sheet of paper and write tests. Write
Write
what?
what
And
test?
before you know what is happening, everybody is failing and nobody is asking why are the
Why are
children.
children
There's just a lot. There's just
There
a
are
lot.
as in-
And that's why I'm excited that the commissioner for he has come out to talk about
The minister.
the minister has come out to talk about all of these things. Let us see action.
Exactly.
It's always very beautiful on paper. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? It's always very beautiful on paper. We know this thing. In fact, I think that we've gotten to the point where, the Nigerian government can actually do a survey and ask questions so that they would get, you know how it is in the tech world when you're building an app or when you're building a website, you have to consult the user that you're building for to know what their
What they
issue
expect.
is, their pain points, what they expect from you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abdallah.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Ladies also.
Good morning.
Thank you. God will continue to strengthen you.
Amen.
This issue of education in all of education is a fundamental issue.
Yes.
You see, we must start from the primary school. That is the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes, you have now spoken about the dilapidated structures, other infrastructure facilities, even the chairs and what have you
Mm.
in the schools. Now, do you know that most of the schools now collaborate with publishers of some books, and then they just hoisted the purchase of these books to the pupils, and then force also the parents to pay for the books that are not even included in the curriculum
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be used.
I agree.
So it's just like a marketplace now. And they will continue to demand for so many fees of the pupils. And if you ask them to put it in writing and then give to the pupils, they will be reluctant to do that. Because they don't want to be apprehended.
Mm.
I don't know. So the issue of this education, at least in the past, around 70s, we have, they say, people teachers who only finish from their teachers training colleges, and then they are taken to the primary school to teach, and they teach well.
Mm.
So I think the government should start from there. Introducing teachers training. They actually want the teaching to be a profession, as stipulated by the National Policy of Education. This from introducing
The
teachers
training college, yes. Chikezie, I know those days.
colleges of education. That if you want to proceed to university, if you want to be a specialist as a professional teacher, then you also take courses in education. And then from there, after graduation, you are a professional teacher. Not these teachers resource centers like registered teachers as qualified teachers. So those are the issues that have to be tackled. And in order to ameliorate the suffering of the people in the rural areas where they are not having the opportunity to have qualified teachers, try as much as possible to employ teachers to teach in the rural areas, qualified teachers to teach in the rural areas. areas.
Exactly.
And then create an enabling environment for them. In the past, there were teachers' houses.
Teachers lodge.
Yes.
Yes.
You see? So if a teacher is posted to a village, he is sure that he has a house,
In house.
a free accommodation for himself. And
Exactly.
then, as at that time, see, there was no this boreholes and what have you, or hand wells. But the hotels used to go and
Fetch water.
and
Yeah.
everything for the teachers. And the teachers had respect then. If a child is sick, is taken to the parents. See, there were in the school, you see first aid boxes filled with this can I say first aid items
Yeah.
that they don't have to take the children during school hours to their parents. So maybe taking care of them.
Please round up, Mr. Abdallah.
Presently, things are not like that. Even if your child is having a headache, before you know it, they send the child back home. And I don't know what the TTA money are giving you. Whether the TTA group, they used to connect with the teachers so that the leadership is TTA money that is being given to them. I don't know. So those are the problems that are happening.
Thank you, Mr. Abdallah.
To create some certain things, development levy, this and that, and what have you, for the parents to be able to give money, and then you will not know where the money is being utilized.
Please round up, Mr. Abdallah. Yes.
Some of the problems. So the best thing, start from the scratch.
Yes.
If a child has a good foundation from the primary level, then by good grace, up to secondary and tertiary institution, you will discover that you will be able to do the right thing and you will be able to perform perfectly well.
Thank you.
But if we miss the primary school, then it means that other aspects of the education would be drastically and adversely affected.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mr. Abdallah. Thank you so much. Mr. Abdallah touched a lot of things. So with that, let's just move forward. This is also, around education, and that's on the nation. How ex-Kwara Governor Commissioner misappropriated 5 billion naira UBEC funds. Now let's take into the main story. Former Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed and his Finance Commissioner Demola Banu were rearraigned at the State High Court in Ilorin for alleged stealing and mismanagement of 5.78 billion. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had initially arraigned the duo in October for allegedly stealing public funds meant for teachers' salaries and infrastructure projects. Now, the FCC presented its first witness, Abubakar Hassan, an assistant director of finance at UBEC, who revealed that the state government misappropriated about 5 billion naira meant for executing projects at primary and junior secondary schools between 2013 and 2015. Now, Hassan explained that the UBEC funds were meant to provide infrastructural facilities, including construction of primary schools, laboratories, toilets, and water, and also sanitation facilities. He stated that the Kwara State Universal Basic Education Board prepared and submitted an action plan for 2013, which was defended and approved. However, during the project monitoring exercise, it was discovered that about 2 billion naira meant for 2013 projects had been diverted by the Kwara Subeb. The presiding judge, Justice Mahmoud, adjourned the continuation of the hearing until February 17, 2025. The EFCC's case against Ahmed and Banu is ongoing, with the prosecution aiming to prove that the mismanaged public funds meant for education and infrastructure projects. These are the issues.
Before we even get down to the fact that
these are the issues.
Before we start looking at the inadequate teachers that we've had in schools and start faulting them for that, let's really go back to the fundamental problem here. I know I said earlier that we don't have to blame the government for certain issues.
You want to
But
take
I'm
it back?
reiterating that. I'm reiterating that because
No, but there are actually some issues that we don't have to blame the government
no.
for.
Let me draw an instance for you. Imagine a situation where things are working. If the facilities that were required, you mentioned the person that got to a school and the students did not have chairs, and she took it upon herself.
Yeah, she was
The
7 at
unfortunate
the
part-
time.
The unfortunate part, and then now we're even seeing schools where they a cop did not greet teachers and they beat her. But
That's
now we're looking at if systems were put in place properly to first of all vet proper teachers and put facilities that will make learning seamless and teaching seamless, because there's the learning part and there's the teaching part. If you're frustrating the people who are teaching, the students will be frustrated as well. And now this is where we also get qualified graduates and all of that, and inadequate graduates. Now, if the system or funds that were put out released to make the system, the educational system, the schools provide facilities that is supposed to make teaching, first of all, seamless. You have frustrated teachers. You have teachers that will be like, there's no, the blackboard said where they supposed to give us money to buy. There's none there, so why am I even going to class? Why am I teaching them? Your salary
things
is
like
not coming on time.
chalk, you will not see.
You can't find. Why am I even going to class to even teach first? Now that's the facilities that are supposed to make your job easy are not there. You're frustrated, and now you're taking out that frustration on the student by not teaching them. So before we even start faulting the inadequate, because like Mr. Sele mentioned, you both mentioned this, that teaching is not just even about your qualification.
You have to care about the job enough.
Now, but the unfortunate part is that a lot of teachers entered into that field with the passion to teach, but that passion has been snuffed out a long time ago. And the new ones we're seeing, and the unfortunate part is that the new people who are seeing that are unqualified to teach are some people who are entering into this space with their passion, who would soon be snuffed out as well. So before we even start faulting the teachers for their inadequacy and their incompetence, yes, there are some who are lazy, and those ones they should be reprimanded properly. But there are those who have been in that system and they have been there for years. If you look at their track record about from when they started to where they are at the moment, you realize that their frustration has gotten so much that they don't even care about their job anymore. I mean, it's just the fact that they are coming to work every day. Are they even seeing salary?
Paul, when we see cases like this where funds for salary,
That's where I'm coming to. You know, I think we've seen this case, this issue, Kelly, if you remember, sometime last month or so, this issue has come on, and we said this is just because a witch hunt, as in they are fighting the ex-governor. It's not that he's the only one. Now, what am I saying? If this amount of money has been budgeted for SUBEB, for basic education, then all ex-governors should be arrested. Why am I saying this? Go across all the schools. Go and see the state of primary schools in almost all the schools, all the states of the federation. Are you telling me that these schools have been renovated? Do they have facilities?
Mr. Sele, do you know what 5 billion naira would do in
a government school? So do they have all these facilities in other states? Then we should start arresting all other past governors, all other past commissioners of education.
Hello, good morning. Mr. Bright, good morning to you.
Mr. Bright, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bright.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, my brother. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Bright.
Do you know that when you get walk out down so much, that when they talk to us, we say, let's go. Where are you hoping? Where there's nothing on ground? Every they give you, it's a let's go. Tomorrow, if you come back again, they give you one story again. It's a let's go. What I think is good. And when they want to talk, they say, dollar administration. So after dollar administration, we release the one has done. I'm not going to come and bring his own. What is the agenda of Nigerian educational system?
Exactly.
This is the next syllable to come. It is see. Let me tell you. Victory.
I'm with you.
I get your assignment yesterday. Did you do it?
No.
I guess people go around schools. The penalty is whether they are in session. This is Abuja House. There are plans that will not be paid. And you are here coming from Mount quality education. Who are you receiving? Okay, go to this one screen, you see. We should allow that in this book. Don't talk about Instagram or Metama or Karichi. Don't talk about maybe Tuareg or Babalada. Go there and check. With that people in customer would like to put the shine there.
That is the problem.
What is the environment?
Yes, I agree with you.
They go around SPM man. And they say that the school, a government school. We are not serious in this country. Okay, you are talking about quality education. We go to our unity schools. We see whereby some people will have 100, they will not get admission. But you see somebody from somewhere.
Exactly.
Surprise, you don't touch my.
No, happy man. The still admission. You go here and water the competent and the incompetent. You go and water them down. You mix them up, but you are missing ground oil and what's that? Or missing like I'm Is that part of it? Let me shock you. To set thinking. Go and ask. Just maybe you walk in a potato tree. Maybe you walk in the night and go and ask the teachers that admission. Under the universal education. Whether they didn't pay one.
Exactly. It's no longer qualification, yes. It's no longer merit.
It's now who has money.
It's who has
pay.
money.
Yes.
Or who knows who.
Yes, that's what they do. So are you going to, okay, come to our university. Admission. So they just want to, they don't everything down in this government so that nothing will be moving. You see some people, they bring them out, you see them here in their country. You bring them down, you see this one catchment here. Some people get it, some people have higher scores in camp. They won't get admission. Some people from Toyo to get low camp.
Get low.
You know all of them. And the most unfunniest and frustrating part of it is that those people, those ones that have children will not have employment. You see those dollars that want
Exactly.
mount the force of the federal military.
Exactly.
And you expect people to be keen about learning. How can you do it? There's a difference between somebody who is talented, well out, and qualified to teach, and especially doing a job that, after all, the country.
Let me find something to eat.
Let me just give them money. People who are doing it, you know that some people in this country, for my application, more than 50 places, they don't even be called up for interview. But some people will be in the house, they get their computer card, they go and receive.
Exactly.
Go to different okay, just like you're talking about this spread now. You get 5 billion to a parasite. It is the spread in Nigeria. Don't they have a director?
That is it.
The rich supervise whether the money is
being used.
Is it not a government worker? What is the job? Is it not collecting money? Let me tell you. Don't doubt that they have some kickback. When they give back, they give them again. Everything is a normal price. You see, what you look at now, before you get maybe a position of vice chancellor or provost or rector in schools, you are a political animal. You see rectors coming to the podium to campaign for governor or for president. You bring them in, they come and rig your election for you. After they rig your election for you, you give them rector, you give them government board council, you give all sorts. And you want education to improve.
Just round up, Mr. Bright.
That is not professing all these things. Go and check it. Whether the child is a Nigerian student.
Not at
Go
all.
check it.
Not at all.
Let me tell you, when I went to school, you know that there is something like called zonal quiz competition.
Thank you.
Government schools don't want big private schools. But now, let's be careful.
Where is it?
You know how you can even wish your child to go to government school. Go to public school. You see people, it's still videos. They are living out to say, when they come out in the morning, you go and rub them on the soil and they go to school. And when they do that, they run around the whole street. You see them in the whole town. When we went to school, during school hours, they can't not see you outside the gate.
Let's round up, Mr. Bryce.
Then when you know that rubber is too tight, proper and good one. And they know you. When you go to place, they know you, they know your parents. When you do something in school, like when I went to school, when I do anything by school and they flog me, I'm not even saying it at all. Because my mother will still carry me to that teacher and say that teacher survived the I should not get it. So that's why I always start up and invite school and study to the teacher. Say yes, yes, teacher, or to this. You share your parents.
Please round up, sir. Like, there are a lot of things you're touching. I'm telling you.
Level, the one level so much is there. Wherever to Nigeria, you go to track, they can't do for terrorism. This level fell off. You want that man to that. Let us continue now. I will not look at it. These are people protesting integrity. And what happened in Parliament? They have given the government. Where are they now? Nowhere.
Thank you. I'm with you.
I told you that we are looking at you in Nigeria. You that have the power to change Nigeria. When you change it, follow you. We will accept.
Gosh, Mr. Bright, like Mr. Bright touched a lot of things. But again, regarding this issue, let's see what the judge would do, the presiding judge, in Kwara State, handling this case, because this is it. If this money goes back into the school system, it's going to do a lot.
My concern here is not about what the judge will do. My concern is whether, this case, this is issue of witch hunters in political, just like with every other case. When will we now start holding governors accountable for what they put up in their budgets for education particularly? When we know that education gets the least, is one of the most, the most neglected sector in the budget. But the little they have been budgeting for education, where is the evidence? When are we going to start holding all these governors up to the presidency, responsible or accountable for what they put up?
The president has said that, part of his renewed hope agenda is to prioritize education. Let's see if it's going to reflect in the 2025 budget, really. Because you just raised a very important, because if we're saying we're going to prioritize education, we're going to equip our schools, both our from basic education to tertiary, a lot is going to have to go into it. So let's see, because when you say you prioritize something, we'll see your body language, towards that particular. Exactly. I mean, we're all in Nigeria and we're watching, because I maintain that for your child to get a quality education in Nigeria, you have to attend private school. You have to attend private school. Let's move to this.
School, we get ahead.
Now you get private school, private school. Now private school day, you know what they talk. So now on leadership, bandits plant explosive along Zamfara 12. This is a sad story. Now at least 12 people lost their lives in a tragic explosion on a bridge in Zamfara State, Nigeria on Wednesday morning. Now the victims were traveling in an overload golf cart from the Maru local government area in Gusau when the blast occurred at around 8 a.m. And this happened at the Mailamba Bridge. Now, according to eyewitnesses, the explosion was caused by bandits who had planted an explosive device on the bridge. This incident follows a similar attack on another bridge in the area just days earlier, where an explosive planted by bandits detonated after a thwarted attack. Residents reported that the bandits have been targeting communities surrounding the Sudal Emirates in retaliation for the killing of their leader, Sani Black, and vigilantes. Now, the villagers are calling on the federal and state governments to intervene and provide aid to the people in the area as the terrorists continue to change their tactics and target innocent people. The incident has sparked widespread concern, with residents urging the authorities to take decisive action to address the growing insecurity in the region. This is a sad news. We're looking at 12 Nigerian citizens gone.
That's the one reported.
That's the one we're seeing on the news. 12 Nigerian citizens gone. Yesterday they dressed up, came out to find what to eat, and they did not. Happened. Nigeria happened to them. And we're looking at the cause of this, and they're saying that what happened was that a one of the leaders of the terrorists was killed by local vigilantes. Now they are coming back to retaliate. Guess who's taking the fall? Innocent citizens. This is where we're at. It's really very sad.
We keep talking about this
Insecurity.
And it keep getting worse by the day. And we have a government, we have a president that keep touring the whole world from this country to this country. Yes, it is necessary to travel. I'm not against that. But what are we seeing? What extra efforts are we putting in place? Knowing that there is this Lukarawa or Lakarawa group that just came up, knowing that the terrorist groups are building, gaining momentum by the day, and we are treating it as if it is just a normal thing. So insurgency has become a normalcy, and it's sad. People are losing their lives. I told you now the last time I went to Katsina State, where as in a government inside government house, they told me don't even dare to visit them.
Like there are areas now that even the government they are aware that
the government
please
is
don't
aware.
even
Please
go
don't
there.
go there. Please, Sele, I like you. Don't even say you want to try. Don't visit them. And we have oh God. It's sad.
I don't even know what to say. Like when I saw this news this morning, it just made me very cold. Especially because these people we're talking about, they are as important as the president of the country. And it brings me back to saying that, I don't know how much value we place on the lives of, the Nigerian people. If we place a lot of value, you see this matter of insecurity, because this is the second time that these people are planting explosive on a major road.
Now, Victory, that brings me to what one of our callers said. I think that was last week. Is it misplaced priority or intentional that you go to somewhere like maybe southeast? In fact, as we are just leaving Middle Belt, you get security checkpoints almost every kilometer. But you come to North, you can travel a whole 1 hour.
When I traveled to Gombe,
and this is where we have insecurity.
Where security checkpoints dey for road?
So I don't know, is it a kind of misplaced priority or intentionally leaving people to die?
Because that even for travelers, the presence of security gives you
hope. That
gives you hope.
Secure, that if something happens here, maybe before it gets worse,
security don't arrive.
But you can travel a long hour on the same note that we are shouting insecurity.
And
you
you're not
seeing for hours without seeing any security presence.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, Mr. Obasanjo, please go ahead. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Good to have you back. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
talk about the implication first. Like for instance now, if I say, let me send you from my community, for almost this is 7 good years now, since getting come on board, the issue of banditry in our places, there's no, if you see primary school, maybe, am I talking, is that the truth? Or I'm talking, or I am just making for political reasons.
I understand.
For political reasons.
I understand.
I'm with you.
I think the issue of insecurity, our people, there's no education. Let me tell you the truth. And the government of Niger State, see, the other government who are now, we don't even know whether it's the Senate or it's not even in the Senate. Why?
Because it's not representing.
It's not representing at all. Less from it was a governor. I am telling you what, the shopping security, the security is there. The government will take out, get with the banditry, come in the whole down the front line, military, CPIS, police, the guard, see, let me tell you. When the security will be done in there.
Okay.
In the name of God for the faith,
Okay. Because they said they have repented. This happened where Mr. Obasanjo. Where is your community? This is sad.
It's sad.
Let's round up, Mr. Obasanjo. I'm with you. I understand. Okay. Please round up. Thank you. I understand your frustration, Mr. Obasanjo. I mean, from the tone of your voice, you just know it's a lot.
Now, look at it. You know his concern now. Just like what I raised before. You have this army, you have police packed in southeast, south, from midnight down. Forming checkpoint to checkpoint, everywhere. What are they securing? Where we have banditry, killing people on a daily basis in the north.
And explosives coming off on major roads.
On major roads.
Before we start, even for like the federal government on even repercussions to issues like this, let us take it down to the grassroots. The House of Rep members, the people,
Local government chairman.
hold on, local government chairman, the governors, the state's House of Representatives, the federal representatives, and the senators from those regions that they have banditry issues and terrorist activities over there. What are you thinking?
No, you know that. Let me say something, Mr. Sele. You know that whenever we talk about this, I want to bring it back to state level. Argue that they've told the federal government to bring state police.
Now, let me also say
It's a conversation that they're having, the issue of state police.
Let me also say this. You know, we took a headline. I think that was the day before yesterday when Adam Sushon came to say it is better to have 774 thieves than one. So it said a lot, and we laughed over it. We made sense with it, but it says a lot about what Charles is saying. Now we have a councillors representing my own ward. I have a local government chairman. I have a House of Assembly member representing my community. I have a Senate. I have a House of Rep member. All these people were allegedly elected, or let me say, okay, we are supposedly elected to represent my interest, to become millionaires and become billionaires. So the only thing they go to office to do, I want you to understand this.
I'm with you.
The only thing a politician is running for election for is not for your interest. It's for the financial gain, for the liberty to enjoy the flamboyant life they live. And that is all. Nothing else attached.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from. Mr. Vincent from Kuje, good morning. Please go ahead. Our last caller just weak everybody. Sometimes you will stop at a, you have to walk. Everybody in the bus will come down. You have to walk, and then your boss will follow.
From banditry.
The one where they get.
Yes.
Mm. Which
Yeah, Nigerians are now going to Ghana for education, for better life. Yeah. It might be because yes, I know that I have people that celebrate getting admission.
please round up, Mr. Vincent. I understand. It's well. Please round up. Thank you so much, Mr. Vincent.
You know, Victory, as Vincent was talking, I just did a mental jump of all my close friends that we started, because we talked about teaching after secondary school. As I dropped my pen after I went into teaching. There are class of people you meet.
Yes.
That are some, like, let me say, serious with
Education.
So we were more than 20, as in at least across that line. I can't remember any of them in Nigeria again. I'm serious. I just did a mental journey and I realized it's like I'm the only one left here. And it's time for me to start thinking the other way. No, seriously.
Mr. Seller, we will build this Nigeria
So the thing
together.
is,
You
the
go
thing-
nowhere.
The thing is, yes, even if I go nowhere, do you know how many people who are just here because there is a difference between being motivated to be here and just being here because you don't feel like going
there's
somewhere.
and there's no means
Or maybe
to
there's
go.
no means to go.
Yeah.
There are people who don't have means to go. There are people who just don't feel like going. Not that they are motivated, they are being
Do you know that
they have a hope.
Mr. Seller, insecurity in Nigeria alone has made families to sell everything that they have to travel out of this country.
Yes.
Insecurity alone. In fact, I heard of a family that they experienced kidnapping. I think it was their dad or somebody that was kidnapped. Immediately they paid that huge sum of money and the man was released. They sold everything that they have just to leave this country. And we're looking at bandits planting explosive. Now the villagers are calling on the federal government, the federal and state government to intervene. We hope that they do, because these people, they are not coming to either kidnap or steal or anything. They are coming for retaliation.
Exactly.
And these people are bloodthirsty. We don't know how much more explosives that are going to come off. We don't know how many more people are going to die on account that their leader was killed by the vigilante in September.
Mr. Vincent talked about these guys parading sophisticated weapons compared to our army. Yes, I agree, but it is a question of what I keep saying: misplaced priorities. The money. Okay, let's agree that the army don't have enough armories. The one they deploy to places that don't need them. The effort to south, southeast, and all these places that don't have security issues. Are you claiming if they put it together, it can't combat the insurgency in North?
Me, that I'm still even thinking, Mr. Obasanjo, that also mentioned, because it's also part of the insecurity issues. Some people that just come out to say, "Oh, we have repented," no background check,
and the government is celebrating them.
And then so I don't even know what to make out of it.
Mr. Senator, this is why I just come to the conclusion in my head that this, from the north, this insecurity, most especially in the north, is more of a business.
Thank you.
Than
Than reality of what it should be.
The one we're seeing, because if you see the way the security, because I'm able to go to the south, east and all, you see the security. Sometimes you come down from your car and trek. Like
me, I don't
that's
trek
how
now.
serious the
Yes.
security is there. And now coming to the north, these people sometimes come to Abuja, FCT here to protest, to tell them that okay, see what is happening, help us here. And no serious solution has been given to them to tackle the insecurity. Then this is where we need to understand that it is actually a business.
There is something
disaster.
more to it than what we are seeing.
There's a lot.
There is more to it.
Let's move forward to this next story on Daily Post. Tinubu, Nigeria's Messiah, will be praised by everyone. Member Abejide on this one. Let's look into the main story now. A member of the House of Representatives in Ayagba Federal Constituency, Leke Abejide, stated that President Bola Tinubu is the Messiah Nigeria needs and will fix the country. Now, he made the remark while noting that things are getting better when compared to how Nigeria was under the administration of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, featuring on Channels Television on Wednesday night, the lawmaker said by the time we get to 2026, they will see this country and everybody will be praising the president. He's the Messiah that Nigeria needs now and he can fix Nigeria. Now, Abejide expressed hope that Nigerian economy under Tinubu's leadership will survive. At the twilight of the last administration, even for you to get 1,000 naira in your pocket, was it easy? You know how much was printed by the CBN. How can the economy survive like that? Who will take you seriously? Things are getting better. This exchange rate issue will be fixed with time. It is better we go into reality than hiding.
You said it representing where?
The Yagba Federal Constituency. The state is not mentioned here.
That should be Lagos. I'm not surprised. Anyway, we don't expect him to say otherwise.
My problem is that we have to get to 2026.
The thing is, so if anybody,
That's my
anybody
issue
who
now,
is seeing the policies and the effect on Nigerians, who is praising the president, I agree with him. Because it just like what Osama was saying, he will become a billionaire before he leaves the office. So why not? Before 2026, his billions will
see. Before 2026, the president is already leaving because 2026 is complete, making it 4 years now. So we're going to wait till 2026.
No, the thing is, you have to wait till 2026 so that by 2027 you will need to re-elect him so that he finishes. You should understand. So by 2027, by 2026, okay, you remember we told you that by 2026 you will start seeing the effect. Maybe by then you will start seeing the effect, then you will re-elect him to complete it.
2025 is going to be difficult for Nigerians. That's what they are trying to say, because that's the only thing they are trying to say, that the solutions we're expecting now, this 2025 that is coming, that we're putting that hope.
You better brace up 2025.
2025 is going to be tough than 2023 and 2024.
My advice to people, we keep especially Christmas like this, we celebrate a lot, we spend money. Anything you have, my dear, if you can't keep it in bank, dig a hole somewhere and bury it.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Mr. Anze, is that you? Oh, Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve from where? Mr. Steve from Duse, please go ahead. You know that some of these things is also out of our hand, though. But sometimes maybe you're calling and we're not seeing it. Yes, please.
Exactly.
Mr. John has complained about this too.
Yes. Exactly. Who are being rewarded by the office? Yes. To become a millionaire.
Mr. Sele.
Mm. Mm. Exactly. Mm. Mm. That is it. Yes, they don't have money to buy employment. I get it. That is it. I will start one business for you. Yes. Mm. That is it. Mm. I understand. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, take that. Yeah. Mm. Yes. Have a local government chairman, have a councillor. Yeah.
Please round up, sir.
It's bad.
Yeah. In Nigeria, yes. In terms of land mass.
This roundup.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. I appreciate. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
like what we can do.
Yeah, he talked about his wife being a
A
trained
qualified teacher, yes.
I was having a conversation that was last week on where I live on my street. There was this lady, so a woman was begging her to come back to her child's school. She was like, no, that they are not paying well, and that she had to move on. So from the way she spoke, you will see a teacher in her. As in, she was even and she was very enthusiastic. Was telling the one, don't worry, that anytime the child needs this thing, that she can just come around
And do lesson.
But no, that the school cannot pay her. It was a private school, I got to know. But this is a trained, qualified teacher that the woman have seen her effect on the child. But there are government schools that are filled with unqualified teachers. Why is she not in the government school? Because she has no money to buy her way into the government school. I have my own wife is a qualified medical laboratory technician. Ask me what she's doing. Because if you look at the salary they propose to pay her when we left to the Ocean State before coming here, the salary they proposed to pay her, I was like, are you not better sleeping with than this? If you sleep very so what are we saying? A lot of people who are qualified for what we are saying we don't have in Nigeria, but they would rather look for business that can take care of their needs and do business than wasting their time for private employment when government employment is not coming and you have to buy it. And there are a lot of people who are not supposed to be there who could buy it and they buy their way in.
Just like Mr. Steve said, if I get 500
that's not the business for her. Yes.
You have to start small business. But I mean, this is where we're at, and we're just like Mr. Steve also said before he ended. He said, I mean, we can't help but continue to just lend our voices and just talk about things and be hopeful that one day somehow things will change. Let's see if we can round up with this story here on Vanguard. Nigeria's conversion centers rise to 158. That's on the CNG matter now. Moving forward to the main story, the number of compressed natural gas CNG conversion centers in Nigeria has skyrocketed from just 7 in 2023 to 158 in 2024, and this is representing a staggering increase of over 2,000%. According to Engineer Michael Oluwagbemi, Program Director and Chief Executive of the Presidential Committee on Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, this remarkable growth is a testament to the government's commitment to promoting the use of CNG as a cleaner and more affordable alternative to petrol. The PI CNG initiative claims to increase the number of conversion centers to 1,000, facilitating the conversion of petrol cars to CNG vehicles and creating a robust market for CNG stations. With a target of converting 5 million vehicles, this represents a massive 5 trillion naira market opportunity. The conversion cost includes kits and services and is approximately 1 million naira per vehicle. Additionally, plans are underway to establish a CNG manufacturing hub in Ajokuta, Kogi State, where key components of the kits can be manufactured locally. Now, to support the growth of the CNG industry, Pi CNG is prioritizing capacity building with a target of establishing 1,000 training institutes nationwide. The initiative is also working with the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, that's NITT, to certify trainees and ensure that local mechanics have the skills to handle CNG conversions and maintenance. With the growing demand for CNG, independent filling station owners are also considering retrofitting their facilities or adding CNG refueling units. And Pi CNG is optimistic about attracting upstream gas producers and midstream operators to the growing CNG space in Nigeria. What do you make of this? Do you think it's a good news for
it
us?
should come as a good news, but I'm not excited looking at the possible effect. I was talking with somebody the other day. Have you seen where where a vehicle using CNG had an accident?
Yeah.
We have. Then you won't wish we won't see
That
this
is spreading like this. When I saw it, I was like, I don't wish this
you
spread.
don't wish this is happening, because yes, there are countries where CNG is being used. I agree, but these are organized societies where road accidents are like
Minimal.
not just minimized, like a rare occurrence. There are countries you can say that for a whole month you won't even experience a road
So
accident.
you're saying Nigeria
But
cannot
in
afford
Nigeria,
CNG at the time?
At the time, we are not ready for this. Our roads are not ready for this.
Let's see if we can take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name. What did you say? Olukono, please make it quick.
Yeah.
Let's round up Mr. Olukolu. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Nicole. I appreciate you. I mean, even with after saying what the problem is, your so preferred solution. Now, Mr. Sel, I think you should round up on the issue of the CNG, because when I read the news, I was also delighted. I'm like, okay, and we also see that it's going to create job opportunities, for people. I mean, Mr. John is one person who keeps talking about the Ajokuta.
Still,
Exactly. So if we can make do with that, but again, looking at the risks also.
Yes, the risk involved. Have we considered that? What are we putting in place? What measures is government putting in place to counter the risk involved in before spreading this, before making, especially for commercial motorists? It will become very dangerous. Have you seen where they load vehicles at the parks? The kind of loads they give these vehicles. It's going to be a very terrible.
The way they pack people.
That's what I'm saying. The way they compact people.
Say a lot.
And we want to introduce CNG. I think we are not yet ready for this.
Kebby, let's take your last takes. We don't have time anymore.
We are not saying they should not do it. They should bring it because it's a good one. It's going to help to reduce this fuel issue in Nigeria. But as they are bringing it in, they should also make the environment conducive for it, because
to thrive.
From news I've heard about this.
So we don't sacrifice more Nigerians. So.
You see how terrible the accident is. So they need to look for ways to make sure that, okay, if they are bringing it in, the environment is actually good for it, and not just bringing it in and leaving Nigerians to pay for things that they do not do.
More. It's a lot. Mr. Sele, your last takes, please.
Well, just like what I keep saying. This government, let's agree, just like what the other guys say, the rep say, that we will see the effects of the government policies in 2026. Let's hope that Nigerians are not working cops by 2026. Let's hope that we still have food to eat by 2026. Let's hope that they still remember that as we speak today, there are a lot of Nigerians who are not sure of what to take as breakfast, who are not sure of what to eat by in the afternoon. So let's talk of how do they survive till 2026.
That's just a lot. But again, thank you so much. Just like we always see on this show, it's very important that we're lending our voices, share our thoughts. And I mean, just like I think it was Mr. Basanjo, aired his view and all of that. It's just important that we just keep lending our voices and hope that one of these days we will be heard. And that brings us to the end of today's Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. A very big thank you to Kebby, Mr. Celestine, and Mr. Charles for their thoughts and perspectives this morning. To all of our callers, Mr. Olukonu from Buari, our first caller for today, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Mr. Abdallah, Mr. Bright from Airport Road, Mr. Obasanjo, Mr. Vincent from Kuje, Mr. Steve from Duse. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for always taking time to contribute. To our listener at home, thank you so much for finding time to always listen to us. Please do not touch your radio, because OB of Sports will be taking over next to give you all test on the world of sports. In the meantime, please stay bright.
So, like, does the radio stop when you get into a car accident? Or are you just sitting there like,
I'm safe. Classic. What up, man? It's TJ, man. Spike.
Yeah, it's your boy Chameleon.
Yo, what up? This is Big Snoop Dogg.
Hi, this is Pussycat Dolls.
Music, please.
Wanna feel the I got hands on. I keep bringing it. Hey, this is Carrie. This is all.